Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to another episode of Brewing It Live. I'm your host, Lotus, and I have Arn.
No, you have Boo.
Well, yeah, I'm not calling you Boo. But
We're gonna be playing with Boo though.
we are going to be playing with Boo because we are going to be brewing Minsc Beloved Ranger. Red, green, white for a human ranger 3/3. When Minsc Beloved Ranger enters the battlefield, create Boo, a legendary 1/1 hamster creature token with trample and haste. Pay X until the end of turn. Target creature you control has base power and toughness XX and becomes a giant in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery.
Hey, Ashen.
Hello.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, we're getting a legendary 1/1 hamster named Boo.
That's all
It
we
has
need.
trample and haste. I mean, 1/1 token with trample and haste. Yep, love it. Pay X from Minsc's ability, and until end of turn, because a target creature you control, you can set the base power and toughness. You can go a couple of different routes. You can make Boo or anything else massive and monstrous. Or you can also do silly things like pay 0 into this and kill something that you control. So death triggers is another option you can go. And then I also know that you can make this a giant tribal deck if you choose, because whatever you're targeting is going to be a giant.
True. That means it's going to have mill in it, isn't it?
Nope. We're not in blue.
Not this time.
Although, I mean, you can definitely make this a giant tribal deck, and there's a lot of good giants out now. You know, you got your Calamity Bearer type effects. So, yeah, you could do some damage with some giants for sure.
True. But we're also in a weird color combination, red, green, white.
We love Naya. Usually, we like to drop big giant dinosaurs in Naya, right? Zakama.
So we're replacing the big dino with a hamster.
I mean, it's going to be a giant hamster eventually.
True. See, when we were deciding to do Minsc, and we were I was super excited because it was a hamster. Little 1/1 hamster named Boo.
Mm-hmm.
So my general thought was, I want to kill people with a hamster.
Yep. It's as good of a win condition as any.
So we could get really silly, which is Magical Christmas Land, because we could have like Mirror Gallery, make loads of copies of the hamster, but I think that's a bit too far-fetched. So how do you feel?
Are you sure? I mean, we can choose to make that work for you if you want to do it.
I'm more thinking of a hamster Voltron kind of deal.
Okay.
That's my that was my take on it.
Sure. So, what are you proposing?
So, the first thing that I would probably recommend in my eyes, is it Hydra's Growth?
Sure. Yeah, Hydra's Growth will work. If you want to put a +1/+1 counter and just increase the number of +1/+1 counters on upkeeps. Yep.
Yeah, so you put a counter on it, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you double them.
Okay, I like where this is going. Let me start us off with a spicy card from AFR, Adventures of the Forgotten Realm, that helps us do that.
Okay.
Throw in Bard class for me.
Okay. So, red and a green for a enchantment class. Legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. Legendary
Boo
spells you
is a legendary hamster.
True. Legendary spells you cast cost red, green, less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of coloured mana to pay.
Right.
Which helps with our commander. And
Yep.
whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn.
So even at level 1, if we just get a 2/2 Boo with Trample Haste, I'm happy with this doing some work. But if we have the luxury of spending green and red, then it just eventually pays for our commander tax. Essentially, if you think about it, if we ever have to recast Minsc, it's just white and 2 to replay our commander.
It's not even when he's cast, it's when he enters the battlefield, make a Boo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm talking about the level 2, the ability that makes it cheaper.
Yeah, no, I had this strange thought that it was on cast, even though I read the card at the beginning.
Yeah.
So if something bad happens to Boo, we just flicker him?
Yeah. So a couple ways to do that. Another one of the most recent cards that seem really good for that is Teleportation Circle. Teleportation Circle, 3 and a white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. We just flicker Minsc at the end step like it's a Thassa, and we get another Boo.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the original that we had wasn't enchanted or decent, or if we lost it, we can just replace it.
Yep. Yeah, so I quite like this a lot. Bard class does some work. And just to get back to it, the level 3 ability is 3 red, green. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. Yeah, we're going to cast a couple of legendary spells in here. And we're just going to have card advantage from it. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
So, if we're going to go down the route of beating people with a hamster, which I think is amazing, personally, we want to buff it as many ways as possible. So, should we have things like loads of Umbras to protect Boo? So, like Bear Umbra.
Go that route. Yeah, I mean, Bear Umbra sounds great. Give it some totem armor.
Yeah, and it's +2/+2, and when it attacks, untap all lands you control.
Yeah, that'll work. We can also do things like Snake Umbra, right? Because it has trample on it. Snake Umbra will 2 and a green for enchant creature and +1/+1, and whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So again, just drawing and getting through some more of our decks with the added bonus of that trample from Boo.
Yeah. No, that would be actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want a Helm of the Host in here?
Do we need one? Or do we want one?
I mean, I feel like it would be funny to have multiple Boos.
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely do that because it just says equipped creature. So yeah, token creatures doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it makes it non-legendary. We can't put a Sakashima in, so we'll do the next best thing.
Yeah, that'll work. Helm of the Host.
Yeah.
So trying to make a bunch of Boos. I mean, everything that we're trying to do at this point just screams doubling season, right?
I mean,
multiple Boos, especially if you're trying to go for a Helm of the Host and +1 counters from.
Okay, yeah. Doubling season makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to try and do the +1 counter route.
Right. To that route, do we want to throw in a Rhythm of the Wild as well? So 1 red and green for an enchantment. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and non-token creatures you control have Riot. So we don't necessarily need the haste or the +1/+1 counter necessarily on Boo with this, but even if some of our other creatures get haste or +1/+1 counters, can't hurt.
No. I quite like that, actually. So we could put other creatures in that would affect it. But either way, it means that our commander can't be countered.
Yep, at the very least, right? So we like our creatures in this deck. We're gonna try to make something X power and toughness with Minsc at some point. So yeah, we got to have some creatures out to do that.
Yeah. What was I've just is it Trustani? Trustani. I'm trying to think of the right Trustani.
For the populate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selesnia's voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guild kit commander, right?
Like, I know that they're legendary. And I know Helm of the Host is a one-off card in the 99. But if someone's going to target Minsc to have to exile it or beast within it, in response we could populate it and make another one.
Right.
So we'll always have our hamster.
Right. I mean, to be honest though, we do have some legendary synergies anyways with Bard class, legendary spells costing less. So I mean, we could go into a huge, legendaries only kind of route. Things like Captain Sisse. We are in the same colors, right? So we can just go find legendary creatures, put into our hand.
Ooh, Captain Sisse.
Yeah.
Search for a legendary, put it in your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, a creature either. You can do, crazy things like Urza's Ruinous Blast and go search up a legendary sorcery. You know what I mean? Maybe not for this deck, but we can, is what I'm saying, right?
I mean, Urza's Ruinous Blast. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. If we're going for a legendary deck,
yeah,
that could be really handy.
I would say maybe board for now. Let's see how far down we go and how many legendaries we wind up running. But I mean, it's. I'm just saying it's not completely out there.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. The thing I was actually looking for, is the other Trustani. I think is it that one? Discordant. Other creatures control get +1/+1. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 soldiers. But at the beginning of your end step, each player gains control of creatures they own. So,
right.
I don't want anyone stealing our Minsc.
Ah, okay. I see what you're going for.
Plus, it gives it +1/+1.
Sure.
Plus, on the other fact is Homeward Path.
Sure. Land side of it. Yep. For sure.
So we can gain control of all creatures we own. Because I know there's players out there that will steal stuff. And I don't want anyone stealing my hamster.
Ah. We like our hamster.
Yeah, so for this one, you just tap, and each player gains control of each creature they own. What could be better?
Yeah. Now we're in some very interesting colors in the most recent times, I would say. So, what are some really, really quote unquote new staple cards you can think of in red, green, or white that just come to mind?
Deflecting swap.
I mean, sure. I was thinking more recent. So like Esper Sentinel is one that I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. That's fair. So you want Esper Sentinel, Archaeomancer's Map, things like that.
Sure.
So Esper
There's
Sentinel
some other ones as well.
Is a 1-drop 1/1 human soldier. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player plays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power.
So again, think about it. With Minsc, we could pump this at sorcery speed as well for the beginning of our turn if we ever choose to. Yeah, I mean, just put 2 into it and then get some value out of it, right?
Okay.
People have to pay 2. People don't typically like to pay 2 for ghostly prisons or smothering tithe. Oh, smothering tithe. We should probably put that in.
Yeah. That card's getting a bit to the point where it's in every deck that can run white.
Yep. But I mean, especially on top of the fact that we've got an Esper Sentinel, it's just good value.
Yeah.
Smothering Tithe can definitely get us there in terms of mana ramp.
Because we're in green, I don't think we're going to need Archaeomancer's map thinking about it, because we have the best color of ramp.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's fair.
So we won't need any ramping in white.
So here's another one that I'll throw your way. If you have it, you probably want to put it in because it's just that good. Ragavan for this deck seems pretty great.
Ragavan the Nimble Pilferer.
Yeah.
Single red for a 2/1 Monkey Pirate. When it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, then exile the top card of that player's library. To end a turn, you may cast that card, and you can dash it for 1 and a red. I've been incredibly lucky, and I have 2 of these in wide art. I've actually had 3, and I traded one away, and I bought a pack while trying to buy a Coke, and I had to just make the money up. So I bought one pack, and it was in there. It was the best Coke I ever bought.
Hey, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ragavan does some work. The dash ability just to cast it from your hand, give it haste, swing, bring it back, do it again potentially, and just get another treasure token, exile the top card of other player's library, and you can cast it. Like, it's just quite valuable. And I mean, you could even make Ragavan, a giant monkey pirate if you ever wanted to choose to do that.
A giant monkey pirate.
Yep, it's coming for your face. But yeah, I mean, we're in these colors. It's something that's fantastic. It works well. And yeah, you should definitely play it if you have one. I was also thinking, so to the point that we have, we're trying to make Boo bigger. Minsc is what kind of a creature, Lotus?
He's a human ranger.
Ah, so it's a ranger class.
I get where you're going.
Incidentally, ranger class, the level 2 ability specifically makes it really, really worthwhile. But we'll go through it. So ranger class, 1 and a green for an enchantment class. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 2/2 wolf creature token.
Mm-hmm.
When you level it up to level 2 for 1 and a green, whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on a target attacking creature. So again, anytime we attack with Boo or any other creature, we're just going to make it bigger. So Esper Sentinel, we've already talked about, would love +1/+1 counters. Boo would love +1/+1 counters. There's nothing wrong with that ability ever in this deck. And for level 3, for 3 and a green, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. Does not say reveal, which is pretty great.
Yep.
And you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Yep. Seems great. I love it.
Yeah, I think that'll do. Are we going to do things like when this attacks? Because I was doing the podcast, which will come out on Monday, I believe. And Dan was showing us his deck. And it was disgusting, and I loved it. But it was always on when a creature attacks, double its effect. So
okay, so we're talking what, like Strionic Resonator and Lithoform Engine type stuff, or
yeah, so like with Bear Umbra, when this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. With the Ranger class, which seems to have not gone in, there we go. When it attacks, put a +1 counter on it. I need to work out what the name of the guy is, but he doubles all your attack triggers.
okay.
So if we can find enough cards that do that, we can then make him super scary.
Yeah, I think he's in the
He's the dragon dude.
Rondis, I believe. Is that the one?
Wolfgar.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
It's Wolfgar.
Okay.
I was just I was just searching for it. Wolfgar
Of
of
Icewind Dale.
Icewind Dale. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's 3 red green for a 4/4 with melee. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you've attacked this combat. But if a creature you control attacking would cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time.
Great. Yeah.
So
So
if we pair that, so if we're going to put a +1 counter on Boo, and we pair it with an Oran Reef Ooze.
okay.
So this one says, whenever this attacks, put a +1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1 counter on it. So we'll end up putting 2 on, and doubling season will double both of them.
Yep. Seems pretty fantastic. Yeah. I'm all for it.
So I think we need to now... So I reckon we should go down the... Boo is going to be our big beater, and we have a load of support for Boo. And I think having attack triggers as one of the subclasses in the deck would be very good.
Yeah. As a sub theme, I could totally see that. Seems great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Let's have some fun with it because, yeah, Ranger class and things like that, we can definitely do some work for that.
Yeah. So there is a sword. The sword is the one that mills when it attacks to a land. I can't remember its name.
Hearth and Home, the green-white one?
That's when it deals damage. I'm trying to think of the one that gives +X+O for the amount of cards you mill till you hit a land.
That'd be an Ashen question. In the meantime, Ashen says, how about steal effects like Captivating Crew, as you can activate them for 0 so you don't have to return the creatures you steal?
Captivating Crew.
Yeah, that seems disgusting.
3 in a red. Gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Activate this ability, only you'd cast a sorcery. So we would steal any of our opponent's creatures. As long as they didn't have a +1 counter, we can pay 0 and make it a 0/0 and kill it.
Yep, after we attack with it as well.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Minsc. Nope, I'm just going to kill it. Cool.
Yeah. Would you like it back? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking of now? Let's add a Pattern of Rebirth, actually.
Okay.
Pattern of Rebirth. Underplayed card that I love the idea of so much. And it doesn't see enough play, but it seems perfect. 3 and a green. Enchantment Aura. Enchant a creature. When enchanted creature dies, that creature's controller may search their library for a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield. Then shuffle their library.
Okay.
So, yeah, get any creature we want out of our deck and just put it on the battlefield, right?
That seems good. We can get Wolfgar or Tristani or Ragavan, any of them really.
Yep. And it's great because Minsc can just kill it at instant speed, right? Or sorcery speed, but at any time that we want.
Yeah.
To that effect, man, that's giving me flashbacks of like Protean Hulk, right?
Ew.
Usually the issue with Protean Hulk was that how do you kill Protean Hulk?
Yeah, okay.
So I mean, yep, total mana value 6 or less, so we can get back, Ragavans, we can get back Esper Sentinels and just bring them back onto the battlefield if they ever go to the graveyard.
Yeah. Also, I've just noticed that we are running a lot of enchantments and probably going to run a lot more. So I'm going to put in an All That Glitters quickly.
Oof, okay.
1 and a white enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control.
Yeah,
I just want Boo to be huge.
Well, if we want Boo to be huge, I think we're gonna need some
Oh,
cards that double mana, right?
is this the deck we put Berserk in?
I mean, it definitely is, but I think that I mean, throw Berserk in and we'll move on after we explain it because I think it's a fantastic card that doesn't see enough play.
Go for
Um,
it.
so 1 green for Berserk. You can cast Berserk only before the combat damage step. Target creature gets trample and plus X plus 0 until end of turn, where X is its power. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy the creature if it attacked this turn. So we could potentially wind up killing Boo, but we could also double its power for 1 green. Now, the alternative use of this is somebody's swinging a big creature, maybe not even with trample, at another opponent, and you double their power, kill it, and kill another player in the process, which is a spicy way to use it. It's very flexible. You can do a lot with it. We're trying to kill people with Boo, but you could. It's flexible enough that I think it's super good.
Yeah, I do love this card, and I need to try and find a copy. It's been very difficult for me to try and find one.
I just went and ordered one online because I love that art that you've got right there. That Berserk is, so good.
Yep, every online store near me is out of stock.
But yeah, we have Ashen saying Calamity Bearer or Realm Cloaked Giant. So Calamity Bearer is the one that makes giants deal double damage, I believe.
If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead, and Boo will become a giant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's a good one. And what was the other one?
Realm Cloaked Giant.
And this
Oh,
one...
it's the... Yeah.
Destroy all non-giant creatures. So we can make Boo a giant. We can then make our commander a giant. Or is it other creature, that commander? Target creature you control. No, it can target itself. So we can make our stuff giants.
Yep.
And then blow up the board. And we'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that this kind of a deck definitely needs some, mana reflection type stuff, because if we're trying to make more than one creature a giant for that kind of effect, we're gonna need a lot of mana.
Yeah. So mana reflection. And what was is it the ancient? I'm just going to type in ancient and hope it makes me remember. The one from was it the new Theros, the one that triples mana?
Oh no, you're talking about the yeah.
You know what I'm on about, but I have no idea what it's called.
I'm
Something.
spacing out on it as well right now. It's the creature. But yeah, let's see here.
I'm literally spacing out with names today.
I've got one. Give me a second. I'll find it.
Yeah, I need to know the name of the sword that I can't remember and that giant.
We're just gonna start making a list, huh? All right. It's definitely in one of my old decks. I'm just gonna look for it real quick.
That's fair.
Nyx Bloom Ancient. Nyx Bloom Ancient.
That's it.
Yep.
So Nyx Bloom Ancient is 4 green for a 5/5 elemental. Trample. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times that much of that mana instead.
Yep. Now, for me, this is a great one to include because again, if we have a pattern of rebirth and we just kill the creature and just drop it in Nyx Bloom Ancient, it's not a bad thing.
And I've just remembered that other card.
Oh yeah, which one was it?
It was a Trepanation Blade.
Okay.
So for 3 mana, you get an artifact equipment. Whenever a quick creature attacks, which if we have Wolfgar on the battlefield will double. Like we'll get this twice.
Right.
Defending player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. The creature gets +1/+0 till end of turn for each card revealed this way. And then the revealed cards get put into the graveyard.
Beautiful. I like it.
So even if we don't have Wolfgar, we're still pumping Boo.
And the funny part is that you can do this on 2 different players and you're filling up their graveyards essentially.
Yeah.
Don't do it to Zach. Don't do it to a Reanimator deck. But everything else, yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's just dump a bunch of their cards into their graveyard. You could potentially mill someone out if the stars align with that.
I mean, yeah. Can you imagine you're playing against a manaless deck? I know it's not possible, but you know, we can dream.
We can dream. That's certainly a thing. Yeah, I can see it happening. I don't know about you, but Ashen says Xenagos, God of Revels, and Erois, God of Victory. Ooh, I like Xenagos a lot.
Xenagos, God of Rebels. Go on then.
Xenagos, God of Revels, 3 and red green for a Theros God, 6/5 with Indestructible, reprinted in Commander Legends, etched foil. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, it's not a creature. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is that creature's power. So you're doubling the power. Well, you're pumping it by the power for power and toughness until end of turn.
Yeah. And Iroas, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Iroas is the other god. It's the God of Victory, right?
Yeah.
So 2 red-white for a 7/4 enchantment creature god with Indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and white is less than 7, it's not a creature. Creatures you control have Menace. Also, prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. So attack away. Fear not. Go forth. Adventure wildly.
So,
seems appropriate for Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Yep.
are we going to go creature head? Well, we've already got 13 creatures.
Oh, we definitely need some more.
So, this one's probably a little bit expensive. What about a Crater Hoof?
I could see it. Crater Hoof?
If we get big enough, we can potentially go a little bit mad.
Well, the question is, are we going wide? Because it's per creature you control, right?
Yeah. You get +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. But it's when it enters the battlefield. If we're going to go down the flicker route, like we were going to at the beginning of the deck for a little bit.
Yeah, with the teleportation circle.
We could flicker this multiple times. So even if we've got like 5 creatures, if we flicker it once or twice a turn, at 5, 10, 15, it becomes really deadly.
Well, teleportation circle, it's at the beginning of your end step.
But if we run things that we can make things flicker when we need them to.
Yeah. I mean, we could certainly go that route.
I'll put it in the maybe board for now, but I feel that could be quite funny.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if we're, going in on Boo getting bigger and bigger. I could see that. Touching back on the mana situation, we also have access to a fantastic reprint that came out in Modern Horizons 2 in the realm of mana. Mirari's Wake was recently reprinted. We're in Selesnya colors as well. So 3 green white for Mirari's Wake, an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. We like that. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produced. And the new art is amazing for Mirari's Wake, by the way.
Yeah, let me just switch it to the new art. So, All sets. There it is.
Yeah, it
That
looks great.
that's stunning. But I think, yeah, we need mana. Our commander is pretty difficult to cast quickly because of the 3 different colors. It's only
Right.
3. It's only 3 mana, but it's 3 different colors of mana. So my instant thought is an arcane signet,
Right.
and a chromatic lantern just to get those fixing.
Sure.
Do we want the signets as well?
Um, I think it's a little bit specific once you get to the signets. I think at that point we're in green. I think you want to do stuff like 3 visits.
Yeah.
For your library for a forest card put onto the battlefield, not even tapped. And if you have shock lands or anything like that, you'll get there.
Okay, so we'll pop a 3 visits in, and I don't know, cultivate. Because
There's a couple other 2-drop ones, right?
there is, however, is it cultivate that I want? There's the new Black is Magic secret lair art, which is gorgeous. It has the Black Lotus, the 2 children. This is just a wonderful card, and I know there's better ramp spells, but just because of the card, this one's going in.
Sure. I think also that if you can get there, one of the best ways to get these the color fixing in place early, if you have a burgeoning, I think this is a perfect deck for it. Burgeoning is one of the more expensive ones, but I think that it just gets you turn 2 Minsc potentially with it. One green for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
It's not
So if this is in your opening hand, if this is in your opening hand, you play, a green mana source of some sort, and potentially go around the table, and turn 2 you can drop a Minsc down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great card. It's expensive for sure.
I mean, it's $20. It's borderline expensive.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that we've got cards like Bloom Tender and what's the other one from Throne of Eldraine. If we have Minsc out, the ones that can tap for 3.
Oh, that Bloom Tender's gorgeous. Secret lair one.
Yeah.
For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. I'm going to have to buy that, I think. That card is...
It's fantastic. Yeah. The one I'm thinking of is Feyburrow Elder.
Yeah, Feyburrow Elder is 1 green white, and you tap it for each color of permanent you control, add 1 mana, and it gets +1/+1. So it'll be a 3/3 at best, and give 3 different colors.
Yep, with Vigilance, and it can tap for 3 mana. Yep.
So Ashen has said we could do flicker things with Molten Primordial.
Okay.
So that one is 5 red for an avatar with 6/4 with haste. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls to end of turn. Untap those creatures, gain haste to end of turn.
That's dirty.
Yeah, that's scary.
With our commander, we're not giving those back either. We're making them 0/0 giants.
Oh, bless them. Oh, they died.
I think we need to put some card draw in. What do you think?
I think that's... yeah. So, card draw can come in a strange way, I feel.
Okay. What are you thinking?
He's one of my old favourite cards. Let's put in a
Okay.
Let's put in a Toski.
I was actually also thinking Toski.
3 and a green. It can't be countered. It's indestructible, and it has to attack each combat. It's a 1/1. But whenever a creature control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So we could make Toski a giant as well.
Yep. We can make Toski a legendary giant squirrel.
Yeah, and I think he would enjoy that. Or at least I would enjoy that. Beating someone.
I think that's fantastic.
Beating someone to death with a hamster and a squirrel.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
all for it. I'm here for it. I also think that I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just thought, I know I keep flitting around, but my brain is so excited. I'm like in a sweet shop.
That's a good thing. Right now, we're playing with a hamster. Come on.
I want to put in Kessig Wolfrun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just +X+O and trample to end a turn. I mean, it's just good. It's just good.
I mean, you already know this is completely my style of deck too. So
Yeah, it's. How many swords do we put in? No, am I going too much?
no, I think swords are not the worst thing in the world. However, let's really quickly, I just want to touch on a couple of things that we can do because of the colors we're in as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we can put in something like a Flame Scroll Celebrant.
Flame Scroll.
Yep. 1 and a red, Human Shaman, 2/1. Whenever an opponent activates the ability that isn't a mana ability, deals 1 damage to that player. 1 and a red to give Flame Scroll Celebrant +2/+0 until end of turn. Realistically, the really great part about this is the flip side of it. Revel in Silence, white. Instant speed. Your opponents can't cast spells or activate Planeswalkers' abilities, loyalty abilities this turn. Lots of potential usages. If you kind of want to have a silence effect, but also have a creature out, potentially, depending on the situation, it's nice flexibility wise. And also, if you just need to use it to make sure a Planeswalker can't ult, that's also a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the crushing part is that, your opponents just can't cast spells.
That does, yeah. So it's basically silence, but on the other side. Talking of swords, sorry, I'm going back to swords. I'm gonna there's a sword I want to put in that's not actually a sword, but it is a sword. I want to put
Is it of Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I wish I could put Sword of Dungeons and Dragons in. No, I'm thinking of Embercleave.
Oh yeah. Let's throw that in for sure.
4 red for a legendary artifact equipment with flash. It costs 1 less to control for each attacking creature you control. And then when it enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and double strike and trample.
See, I was thinking of a different route to go, but this is a fantastic way to go too. I'm not mad at that at all. So the way I was thinking was, I was thinking something like Samut, Voice of Dissent would be great.
Samut, Voice of Dissent.
Yeah. 3 red-green for a legendary human warrior. 3/4 with flash, double strike, vigilance, and haste. Other creatures you control also get haste. And you can pay a white and tap to untap another target creature.
Oh, I like that.
So lots of flexibility, lots of things that you could do. You could flash this out, give everything haste, and go to town. But also it has double strike. So again, with things like Toski, double strike is great. Draw more cards.
Yeah, because each time it does combat damage to a player, so double strike obviously will double that.
Yeah. I think that another one, especially in this kind of a setting, especially when we're making our power and toughness bigger, from what I can tell, A Galta is a nice legendary creature that we love.
Yeah.
Primal Hunger. 10 green green, but we all know this only costs 2 green. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. 12/12 trample.
Yep. So I'm trying to remember the name of this card. It basically says it's either red or green. I can't remember which one it is, and it says creatures you control or target creature you control gets +X/+X for the combined power of all creatures you control when it attacks. And I can't remember what it is. I honestly can't remember.
Ashen, help.
Yeah.
Just think about this though. I know you just heading back to Galta for a second. So if we make Galta a giant,
right,
we have a Calamity Bear doing double damage.
Ew.
I mean, base power and toughness becomes XX, so it might get less than 12, but you can potentially make it even higher and trample damage. Could be spicy.
Yeah. It's gonna be disgusting.
Ooh, you know what's a good giant?
Go for it.
Sun Titan.
Oh, of course it is.
4 white, 6/6 vigilant giant. Whenever it ETBs or attacks, return a target permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Which could be our commander if we're really desperate.
Right. Or it could be our ranger class, our bard class, our yeah.
I am really struggling to find these cards. I know them in my head, I can see them, but I can't remember their name.
Not sure. I'm not familiar with the card you're thinking of right now, I think.
Yeah. I can't find it, so I'm gonna forget it and move on.
Okay. You know what's a fun one I just thought of? Hero's Blade.
Oh.
That could be fun.
Is that the one that attaches?
Blade. It is. It's only for legendary creatures, so a little bit more of that legendary theme.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read it off, Lotus.
So, 2 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it and equip for 4 otherwise.
A flying boo hamster with haste and a Hero's Blade in its mouth.
Why is it flying?
Because I'm chucking it at you.
Right. I mean, we could put a Skyclave Maul in.
Oh, that is a card we can put in.
Is it Skyclave Maul?
No, I think Skyclave. I know which one you're thinking of. I just gotta find it now. Maul of the Skyclave, I think it is actually. Yeah, Maul of the Skyclaves. It's the other way around.
There it is. So this is a 2 and a white in equipment. With when it enters the battlefield, attach it to a creature you control. A quick creature gets +2/+2, has flying and first strike for 2 white.
Oof. Yeah, I love it.
I'm gonna just put in a Shadow Spear as well.
Might as well, yeah.
Shadow Spear is another one of those really good cards. It's single, just 1 mana. Gets +1/+1, trample, lifelink. Permanents you opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible to end of turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems good. And again, you know, Sun Titan can get all of these back too, no less.
Yeah, it's just Embercleave that you'll have problem with. And
it's okay.
And Helmet Host.
Usually you're the one that suggests this, but Great Henge is a thing, right? We care about power. We care about +1/+1 encounters and drawing cards.
Yeah.
So
2 green.
Yeah, 7 and 2 green, but realistically it's 2 green. For legendary artifact, Spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Tap, add 2 green, gain 2 life. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. Does not work for Boo, but everything else, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the card that I always recommend is Barrier Breach.
There we go.
So Barrier Breach is going in because this card is amazing and everyone should run it. Do I need to explain what it does? Yes, I do, because I do every time. It's 2 and a green for an instant. Exile up to 3 target enchantments, and it cycles for 2. What more do you want?
While we're on the topic of removal, I suppose, yeah, we're in the colors. Let's talk about Beast Within, Generous Gift on top to boot, because why not?
Beast
Just
Within.
deal with permanents. Yep, destroy target permanent and create a 3/3 something.
3/3
It's either an
beast
elephant
or a beast.
or a beast, depending on which color one you're running. Ironically,
Ooh.
we can also run things like, if we're being real dirty, we can run a Teferi's Protection in this too.
Yeah. That is dirty. So, when in...
Oh, and removal wise, we have Chaos Warp access.
True.
If we wanted to throw in Chaos Warp.
We can also put in Heroic Intervention.
Yes, we can. And you know what's from everything we've just talked about, you know what's another fantastic instant that I don't run enough of? Boros Charm.
Oh.
Just okay, so let's unpack this, because Boros Charm is green and red and a white. I'm sorry, for an instant. Choose one. Boros Charm deals 4 damage to a target player or planeswalker. That's great. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Also fantastic. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. What have we been talking about recently?
Yeah, making Boo huge.
Oh my goodness, that just works far too well.
So, when Minsc enters the battlefield, create Boo, a legendary red... it's a red hamster. Okay.
Yes.
Right. I was hoping it would be a bit more than just red.
Why? What was you thinking?
So,
just for the sake of discussion.
Just for the sake of discussion, I've dismantled it now because I've changed to playing Calamax, but I was playing General Roderick.
Okay.
And I was playing this card called Legion's Initiative. So it's a red and a white for an enchantment that red creatures get +1/+0, white creatures get +0/+1, and pay a red and a white and exile Legion's Initiative. Exile all creatures you control at the beginning of the next combat, return those creature cards to the battlefield under their owner's control, and those creatures gain haste to end of turn. So it's kind of like a Teferi's Protection that's always visible on the board.
Interesting. Okay.
And it kind of buffs Boo, giving it +1/+0. It gives our commander +1/+1. I didn't know if this felt right to you.
I think that we have better ways to do that. If I'm being honest, I would say maybe board it.
Yeah. It was just a card that I was running in my Boros deck, and it was just something that popped in mind. However,
I mean, if you want to throw it in, throw it in.
However, now you say that there's better cards out there that do the same sort of thing. It's popped in my head. And it's expensive, I'll give you that. What about an Elish Norn?
I mean, sure. Everybody's going to have one soon enough anyways with that secret lair drop. Jesus.
Yeah. It granted, it is pretty. And that's me just being really sour because I have the Judge promo one because I earned it. And it just makes me sad.
Yeah.
If they changed the art, I'd be fine. It's just they use the same art.
It's correct. The font is different though between the two. I actually like the Judge promo art font better. It's subtle, but it's there.
Now I'm shopping. Bear with me.
Yeah, I took the time to actually take a look. The font is different for the Secret Lair versions as opposed to the one you have. I think that the Judge Promo ones are more elegant looking. Um,
Yeah, there's some simplicity to it.
yeah.
The other one does
Um,
look a bit cramped.
Even the Phyrexian symbol is also bolder and thicker as well. Um, and if you look at the border, there's also the border differences. It is very different. The border is more Phyrexian, like the little like spikes and stuff,
Yeah.
whereas cleaner on the other arts.
Eh,
Um,
that's fair.
yeah, so they are slightly different. It's not exactly the same, but yes. The one I was thinking of, just so you know, when you brought that up, as far as like a red and white lord, Balefire Liege was the one I was thinking of. I'm not sure it goes in the deck. It's probably a maybe board as well for me, but it's pretty fantastic. Two Boros hybrid, Boros hybrid, Boros hybrid for a 2/4 Spirit Horror. Other red creatures get +1/+1. Other white creatures get +1/+1. Whenever you play a red spell, Balefire Liege does 3 damage to a target player. Whenever you play a white spell, you gain 3 life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a maybe board, same as the other one, because I think Elish
Yeah, I think it
Norn pretty
depends.
much does better in the +2,
Yeah,
-2, because that could just wipe some decks off the board.
right.
But Balefire Liege is not something that should be forgotten. I think people don't play these enough, like all the lieges.
Yeah. Some of the lieges are pretty fantastic, especially if you're in like a 2-color deck, for
Hmm.
sure. Ashen says, glad to see no soul ring.
There's an
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's put a soul ring. No. Honestly,
Um,
there's no need because our commander has no generic mana. It's literally red, green, white. Yes, command attacks will add to that, but playing a soul ring over some of the other stuff we can do, I think just slows us down.
yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's probably better just to not in this kind of a deck. Um, However, uh, so what's our card count at right now? Just out of
Night,
curiosity.
we're at 92.
Okay, so we're getting up there. I think that maybe board this one as well. Vexing Shusher is a personal favorite of mine.
I was actually going
Uh,
to suggest this earlier on when you suggested Rhythm of the Wild. I've just recently bought one actually. Just because it's
yeah,
so good.
it's pretty fantastic. Um, so 2 mana, Gruul hybrid for a 2/2 Goblin Shaman. It can't be countered, and you can pay a Gruul hybrid to have a target spell. Just can't be countered.
Yep.
If someone goes to counter it in response to your target spell can't be countered, just pay another mana and then make it uncounterable again. Uh, it works fantastic. I've used it against Lotus once. It turned out fantastic as well. But yeah, it's a pretty underplayed card in my opinion, but
Yeah.
a very useful one.
Yeah, you caught me out with that one, and I'm not happy. Um, Ashen says late suggestion, but Sublime Angel.
Ooh, okay.
So Sublime
Archangel or Angel?
Archangel is the one with Exalted.
Just trying to make sure we know which one we're going for here.
Yeah, so
Uh,
that's
Kamigawa suggestions. Shinka. Yeah, Archangel. Okay, cool.
okay. So the Archangel is 2 white white for a 4/3 flying Exalted angel. When this creature attacks, you can and you control attacks alone. That creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. With Wolf, our Exalted trigger will trigger again.
Yep.
And other creatures have Exalted.
Yep.
So
And yeah, it's a pretty good one.
yeah,
Shinka is a legendary land that has gone up in price by about 300% due to largely Ragavan. But yeah, Shinka blood soaked keep tap to add a red to your mana pool, or you can pay a red and tap it to make a target legendary creature gain first strike until end of turn. So Boo and Ragavan,
Mm.
People have been running this in, I think, I can't remember if it's Modern or Legacy, but they're now running Ragavans all over the place. And yeah, they're trying to give it first strike. Need 4 of these in every deck.
I like the fact that it's $38 from Card Kingdom, but only €7, which is about £5 from from our European
I'm
market.
I'm telling you right now, you pick up a bunch of them, sell them stateside, make some profits.
Um,
Yeah, Shinka's pretty good.
what was the other one? The Enko Castle.
Yeah, Igonjo Castle.
Uh,
Add tap to add a white to your mana pool. Pay a white and tap. Prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to a target legendary creature.
I mean, yeah, it's a land it can go in. That's no problem at all.
And Okina Temple to the Godfathers. That's the green one. Green and tap to make a target legendary creature get +1/+1 until end of turn. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
All of these sound great.
they do.
I think that in this kind of a deck, other lands to consider: Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, make it all Forest Urborg from Modern Horizons 2.
Yeah.
And I think Okina has enabled me to exact lethal summon before. Nice. I think another one to consider strongly here is Sunhome, Fortress of the Legion, because of all the double striking we're trying to do with multiple ways.
Yeah.
Taps for a colorless, 2 red, white, and tap to make a target creature gain double strike until end of turn. And I think a Slayer's Stronghold is also quite good in this land base. Tap for colorless, or pay red and white and tap it to give a target creature +2/+0 and gain vigilance and haste until end of turn.
That works quite nicely.
Yep.
So we're at 94 cards at this moment in time.
Okay.
We
Let's
have
take a
yet
look.
to put any real swords in. Do we want to put any swords in, or are we not going that expensive?
I think if we do, you had Flicker ideas, so sort of Hearth and Home seems good if we're doing that. For what this deck is trying to do, at least.
Yes, so that's 3 mana for an equipment. Equip for 2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has protection from green and white. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, exile 1 target creature you own, then search your library for a basic land, put both cards onto the battlefield under your control and shuffle.
Yep. Yeah, I would say that one feels the best, probably.
Oh. Okay, so Crater Hoof might be the wrong choice for us, but what about a Finale?
We could do a Finale.
Finale of
I don't mind.
Devastation. So for X green, search your library and or graveyard for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get +X/+X and gain haste until end of turn.
Okay, I like it. As an alternative as well, one I just thought of, which is also super cheap. Earthshaker Giant might also not be the worst. Giant themed a little bit as well, flavor wise. 4 green for a giant druid 6/6. It has trample. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn.
Nice.
Not a bad one. I think any of those options work.
If Flicker is a key, says Ashen, what about Emil?
I don't own one. I never remember Emil. Yep. Emil works.
I was lucky that a friend of mine gave me Emil. It was one of the only cards from Jumpstart I really wanted. So Emil the Blessed, 2 white for a 4/4 unicorn. Pay 3 generic and exile another creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay green or white. If you do, put a +1 counter on it. If it's a unicorn, put 2.
Yeah.
So
Seems pretty good.
we can bounce our commander or any of these disgusting things that we're playing, and get another Minsc if we lost him, or other ETBs that we've got.
Yeah. Depending on how much flicker we want to do, I think we could also probably like Felidar Guardian is another flicker type effect that I can think of, right?
Yeah. 3 and a white. Cat Beast 1/4. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target opponent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Yeah.
We're at 99.
So a couple of things that
So
came across my brain while I was looking at the ability of Minsc specifically. I think Shamanic Revelation is worth considering talking about. 3 green for a sorcery, reprinted in the Commander Precons as well. Draw a card for each creature you control. Ferocious, you gain 4 life for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So if we pay 4 into any creatures that are lower than that, we could make it also gain us 4 extra life.
yeah. I mean, I think most of the stuff we're going to play is going to get pretty large anyway, so it's pretty good to just run.
Yeah, I think that's a maybe board. Because the other one I would prefer in this situation is just always going to be Rishkar's Expertise, but that's just me because I love that card.
Fair. So let me just switch them around then. So, Ashen's asking what's our removal. So we've got Barrier Breach, we have Beast Within, we have Berserk because it's a funny way of
removal.
yeah. We have Chaos Warp, Generous Gift, and I believe that's everything. So we have a few.
You know what's the one really great removal spell that's going to be fantastic in this deck that we haven't included yet?
Go on.
Chroma's Will. It'll be player removal, but I think it'll be good removal.
Yeah. Okay, let's pop that in, and I'm gonna cut a mountain and go down to 35 lands because
3 and a white for an instant. Choose one, but if you control a commander, you can choose both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. The other one is creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors until end of turn.
Minsc is gonna do some damage.
Well,
well,
everything that we have is going to do some damage at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm getting to the point now where I'm struggling to get more stuff in other than just more of the same thing. So more swords, more enchantments, more umbras. I feel like we're getting to that point where it's a playable deck.
Yeah. I think the only thing we're really lacking right now is probably board wipes, but I don't think that that's something that we really want to do anyways on our end.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Board wipes. Board wipes are going to be difficult for us. We do have the Realm Cloak Giant as a board wipe, but
yeah,
I think
I'm trying to think.
It will devastate us more than what we would want.
Yeah, and I think that that's fair. The only one I'm trying to fit in right now, realistically, in my brain, is Jessica's Will.
Yeah.
Because it just gives us a bunch of mana for, Minsc, and gives us some card advantage to boot at the same time. Just trying to think what we can cut for it. So bear with me here.
So you want something to cut for Jessica's Will. Okay.
Let's cut this Flame Scroll Celebrant. I'm okay cutting that. It's more proactive this way, I think.
Yeah. We want to be attacking a lot
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree, Ash. And duplicate and meteor golem would be very good with the flicker effect. But I think if we go too flicker heavy, we lose what we're trying to do with Boo and Minsc. But that is definitely something that flicker could go.
Yeah, I think that the big thing we're trying to do, according to Lotus, is make Boo and other things huge
Yeah.
and deal damage. I think that
the only reason I wanted 1 or 2 flicker effects is because I didn't want to have to keep casting the commander to reset Boo. I just rather flicker it and make another Boo.
yeah, I think that that's probably it's just like a value play at that point instead of having to you have to like essentially get rid of Minsc and replay it for 2 extra mana out of a command zone if you're trying to do that. So I think that being able to have the option to do that is just nice.
Yeah.
Because things like, Teleportation Circle, for example, you just have to it's exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. So you can exile an artifact no less and then re-equip if it says, equip when it enters. So like things like Maul of the Skyclaves definitely benefits from that as well.
Yeah.
Attach it to a creature you control. We still have our Boo. We could just flicker in Maul of the Skyclaves and just put it on something else, right? Helm of the Host, if we want to just flicker it, it just...
I don't know why, but you could.
No. Yeah, but I mean, something's being targeted or anything like that. Who knows?
The options there.
Yeah.
Or Embercleave, when it enters the battlefield attached to target creature.
Yep, that's the other one. I think I was looking for it too. Yeah. So I think that we can flicker a creature, we can flicker an artifact, and we've got a couple that work quite well for that.
Yeah. But I'm quite excited to play with this now.
Yeah.
Like, I was lucky in my pre-release kit. I managed to actually pull a Minsc. I'm not as lucky as you, Han, who pulled a foil Boo.
Yeah.
That's just... At least I get to play with it. At least I get to build it.
Yeah. I like the foil Boo. It seems pretty cool.
I need to order myself a foil Boo. Really do.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty fun for me.
Yeah.
That seems like a pile of good cards as far as I'm concerned.
It definitely has a direction.
I think that the only thing let's see. The only thing lacking for me right off the bat, we don't have a Guardian project, right?
No.
Because we are creature heavy. We have 27 creatures.
Yeah, we do have the Great Henge, though.
Why not? Good enough.
I mean, you can put the Guardian project in, but I feel the Great Henge does the job plus an extra +1 counter.
Sure. Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Swing away. Make things huge. I like it.
Now, the question here is, Han, what are we going to do next week?
That's a good question.
I think that's a question for you guys, and I think you should leave comments or message us in Discord and tell us what you want us to do next week. I think I'm not going to decide until Monday this time.
Yeah, that works for me. I think, especially with the precons being out, there's tons of options. So yeah, let's have some fun.
Yeah. So I'm gonna brew a few things and see what I enjoy as a commander, and I'm gonna put some suggestions to Han. Han will probably do the same, and then we'll gather.
I mean, my thought was if we're doing that, I'm just gonna assign numbers like 1 through 20 to legendary creatures in the set and just roll a d20.
So we don't know what we're brewing next week until we... There's an idea. That's something we can discuss afterwards.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if it's up to me, that's the suggestion I'm going to go with.
Okay.
From me. Now, we'll see Monday.
We'll see Monday what happens. But otherwise, thank you everyone that's listening, joining in. We can't do this without you. And as always, all the episodes go up every Monday, so you can catch previous episodes on YouTube. If you would like to chat to us more personally, we're in our Discord, which is the Into the 99 Discord, which you can find the link down below or on our website at intothe99.com. Also, our Patreon and our merch store is also through that link at intothe99.com. But otherwise, that's all from us.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, anybody that wants to make Boo big and swing away, here we go. Let's have some fun.
Send us deck lists. I want to see how you build Minsc, because we build things differently here. I get so many comments on YouTube and like in the Discord going, why didn't you shove this card in? Why didn't you shove that card in? I was like, because I'm mad and I don't realize it.
Yeah, we build it differently here a little bit. But yeah, that's just kind of our style too, and I like that as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways to go about it. Like I said, I mean, for all I know, people can just, Naya steal things and destroy them all and get some death effects, there's lots of ways.
Yeah. I'm glad you find some of the decks fun that we brew, Ashen. It's what we aim to do. Make some weird decks.
Yep.
Ashen's been inspired by our decks. Awesome. That makes it all worth the while.
Yeah. Single-handedly.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think that's everything, is it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you all, and we'll catch you the same time next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.